Two stores. Same product, same ads, same traffic down to the exact dollar. One of them makes twice the profit of the other. Not 10% more. Double. And when you look under the hood, there is no secret supplier, no viral video, no clever hack anybody could copy. The only real difference between them is a single number that one owner obsesses over every single day, and the other has literally never looked at once. Most store owners burn every waking hour chasing the wrong end of their business, shoving money into the front door, while the actual profit quietly walks out the back. I am going to show you the exact number that separates these two stores, and why the one who wins barely spends another dollar to pull ahead. But the mechanism, the real thing that flips a one-time buyer into the customer who quietly makes you rich, I am saving for the end, because it only lands once you have seen how brutal the alternative really is. Stay with me. Here is the lie that runs almost every failing store. The owner believes the business is the sale. Get the click, get the order, cash the money, go find the next stranger. But the sale is not the business. The sale is the most expensive, most exhausting, lowest profit moment you will ever have with that customer. And the winners know something the beginners do not. The real business, the part that actually pays you, does not even start until the second time that person buys. Hold on to that word second, because there is a window where it happens, and almost every store on earth is sleeping straight through it. And there is a second thing I want you to hold on to, because near the end I am going to show you the exact type of message that pulls that second sale out of thin air, and it is not the discount you are picturing right now. So let me walk you through both stores at the same time, side by side, and you will feel exactly where they split apart. It gets uncomfortable right around the middle, because you are probably running the losing one right now without knowing it. And keep score in your own head as we go, because one of these two owners is quietly building something he could sell one day, and the other is building nothing at all, even though from the outside they look identical. Start with the store almost everybody builds. Call it the treadmill store. Every morning the owner wakes up and the counter is back at zero. To make money today, he has to go find brand new humans who have never heard of him, warm them up, earn their trust from scratch, and convince them to hand over a card. And you already know what that costs, because it is the single most expensive thing in all of e-commerce. Buying a cold stranger is brutal. You might spend $25, $30, $35 in ads just to land one first order. So every single sale on the treadmill store starts deep in a hole, and the owner has to climb out of that hole over and over, every day, forever, just to stay flat. Let me put real numbers on it so you can feel the floor of that hole. Say he sells a product for $50. The product itself costs him $15 to buy and ship. Payment fees take another $2. So before he has spent a cent on marketing, he is keeping about $33. Now, subtract the $30 it took in ads to find that buyer. He is left with $3, free. For all the risk, the packing, the support, the refunds, the hours, one slightly more expensive ad day, one product return, one angry customer, and that $3 flips negative, and he actually paid to make that sale. That is not a margin. That is a coin flip he has to win every single order, just to break even. And here is what makes the treadmill so cruel. It never gets easier. The moment he stops paying, the traffic dies, the sales die, the whole thing goes silent the same afternoon. He does not own a business. He is renting one from the ad platform, and rent is due every morning before he has made a cent. Scale it up and it gets worse, not better, and this is the part that traps almost everyone. The cheap, easy customers get bought first. The people most likely to want your product, the ones sitting right at the front of the line, the platform hands you early and relatively cheap. Push for more volume, and you are now paying to reach people who are colder, slower, less sure. So the cost to grab the next stranger climbs and climbs, until one bad month the ads cost more than the orders bring in, and the whole thing just quietly folds. That is most stores. That is the default. And it looks like hustle. but it is a treadmill belt, and the faster you run, the faster it spins. And notice what it does to his head, because this matters. Every decision he makes is short term, because he is always one bad week from zero. He cannot invest in better packaging. He cannot wait on a slow but loyal audience. He cannot say no to a discount that trains people to only buy on sale. He is not running a business, he is managing a permanent emergency. Meanwhile, his costs only ever go up. Ad prices rise every year. Tracking gets harder, so the platform aims worse, so he pays more for the same result. Hold that picture, because the other owner is about to do something almost boring by comparison, and win anyway. Now look at the other store. Same product, same ads, same cold traffic hitting the exact same expensive front door. Same $30 haul. But this owner did one thing differently. He treated that first sale not as the finish line, but as the most expensive introduction he will ever pay for. Because think about what he actually just bought with that $30 in ad spend. He did not just buy one order. He bought a person who now knows his brand, has felt his product in their hands, has seen the box arrive, and, if it was any good at all, now trusts him. And selling something to a person who already trusts you costs almost nothing. No ad, no cold pitch, no climbing out of a $30 hole. The hard, expensive part is already paid for. So the second store owner asks the one question the treadmill owner never even thinks to ask. How do I get that same person to buy again? And that question points straight at the number, the one that split these two stores in half. It is called your repeat purchase rate, just the percentage of your customers who come back and buy a second time. That is it. Out of every 100 people who order, how many order again? And I need you to sit with how quietly powerful this number is, because it hides in plain sight while it decides whether you are building an asset or just feeding a machine. The treadmill store runs at almost zero. Basically nobody comes back, so every dollar of revenue has to be dragged in fresh, at full ad cost, forever. The winning store might run that number at 20, 30, even 40%, and that gap, that one gap, is the entire difference in profit. But watch what it actually does to the money, because this is where it stops being a stat and starts being real. Here is the compounding. And it is the part that should genuinely change how you see your whole store. On the treadmill, a customer is worth exactly one order. You paid 30 in ads, you kept maybe 3 after everything, you move on. That customer is done. But on the winning store, that same customer buys again. And this time there is no $30 ad cost, so instead of keeping $3, he keeps the whole margin, over $30, almost pure profit. One repeat order is worth 10 first orders on his own math. Then some of them buy a third time, a fourth. Suddenly one customer you acquired once for one painful ad cost is not worth $3. They are worth 60, 100, 150 over the next few months. Same acquisition cost, same ads. The winner just stopped throwing the customer away after one bite. That is how he doubled his profit without finding a single new person. He did not widen the front door. He stopped living through the back one. Let me make that concrete, because averages hide it. Picture a small coffee brand. A bag of beans, $30, gone in about 3 weeks. The treadmill owner sells you one bag, keeps his $3, and never speaks to you again. So when your bag runs out, you wander off and buy whoever advertises to you next. The winning owner sells you the exact same first bag, but he knows you will be empty in 21 days, so he is there on day 18 with a one-tap reorder. You buy again and again and again, every month for 2 years, because good coffee is a habit. That single customer bought one time for $30 quietly turns into hundreds of dollars of nearly free profit, and the treadmill owner 2 doors down is still paying $30 every morning to meet a brand new stranger who will also vanish in 3 weeks. Same product, same cost to acquire, wildly different business. And now flip it around and feel how it changes your math on the way in, because this is the quiet superpower. If a customer is worth one order, you can barely afford to pay $30 to get them. But if that same customer is worth 3 orders over the next 2 months, you can suddenly afford to pay $40, even $50 to win that first sale, and still come out miles ahead. The treadmill owner is stuck bidding on a single order, so he has a hard ceiling on what he can spend, and the second that ceiling gets tight, he loses. The winning owner is bidding on a whole relationship, so his ceiling is far higher. That is why he can outbid every competitor in the auction, take the best placements, buy the customers the treadmill owner literally cannot afford, and still profit while the other guy quietly goes broke buying the exact same clicks. He is not winning because his ads are better. He is winning because he can pay more for the same ad and survive it. The repeat rate is what lets him. And here is a second thing, that number secretly buys him. And almost nobody connects these two. A high repeat rate does not just add profit, it makes the whole business calmer. When you know a big share of this month's customers will buy again next month is no longer a mystery. You can plan inventory instead of panic ordering. You can breathe. The treadmill owner cannot predict tomorrow, because tomorrow is another cold auction he might lose. The winning owner has a base of repeat buyers underneath him like a floor, and he builds on top of that floor, instead of rebuilding it every single day. One of them owns something, the other rents everything, and it all traces back to that 1%. So now we get to the loop I opened at the very start, the window. Because here is what almost nobody tells you about that second purchase. It is not evenly spread across the year. It is violently front-loaded. A huge share of the customers who will ever buy from you again do it fast, inside the first 30 to 60 days, while your brand is still warm in their memory and the box is still fresh on their mind. Picture it as a curve that starts high the week after they buy and falls off a cliff. Every day you wait, the odds they come back drop, fastest at the start. Wait too long and you go cold. They forget the name on the package. They move on to whoever advertised to them next. The trust you paid $30 to build quietly evaporates, and you are back to square one, back on the treadmill, paying full price to reintroduce yourself to a person you already owned. The treadmill store slips straight through that window, every single time, because the owner is too busy chasing the next stranger to notice the last one is slipping away. The winning store treats those first 30 days like the most valuable real estate in the entire business. Which brings us to the actual mechanism, the thing I promised you, the move that reaches into that window and pulls the second sale out. So here is the turn, the single thing the winning owner does that the treadmill owner does not. He builds one simple, deliberate follow-up the moment an order ships, and it is almost entirely automatic. Nothing fancy. A short sequence of messages, mostly email, that goes out on its own after someone buys. And I promised you it is not the discount you were picturing, so here is why. The first message is not a pitch at all. It lands a few days in, right about when the product arrives, and all it does is ask one thing: did you love it? That single question does something a coupon never could. It makes the customer feel seen. It catches the unhappy ones before they leave a bad review, and it quietly reminds the happy ones that you exist and you care. It builds trust instead of spending it. Then, while the window is still wide open, comes the nudge. And this is where most owners get it wrong, so listen closely. They blast a blanket discount to everyone, which just teaches people to wait for the next sale and trains away the full price you worked so hard to earn. The winning owner does something sharper. He sends the offer that pairs perfectly with what they already bought, the refill before they run out, the matching item that completes the thing in their hands, the upgrade they did not know existed. If they bought the coffee, he offers the grinder, or the subscription that never lets them run dry. If they bought the skincare serum, he offers the moisturizer that doubles its effect. It does not feel like a discount grab, it feels like help, like the brand read their mind. And it says, in effect, come back, and here is a reason to do it now, not someday. That is the whole secret, not a growth hack, not a viral gimmick. A boring, automated conversation, 3 or 4 messages spread across that 30-day window, that turns a stranger you paid for once into a customer who pays you again and again for free. And let me kill the objection forming in your head right now, because I can hear it. You are thinking, but my product is not coffee. Nobody needs a refill of the thing I sell. It does not matter. Replenishment is only one of 3 doors, and every store has at least one of them open. Door 1 is the refill for anything that gets used up. Door 2 is the companion, the item that naturally goes with what they bought, and almost everything has a companion. And door 3, the one people forget, is simply the next reason to care. A new arrival, a seasonal drop, a members only piece, a story that pulls them back to the site. You are not begging them to buy. You are giving a person who already trusts you a fresh, timely reason to return while they still remember you. Most owners just never walk through any of those doors. And here is the part that makes it almost unfair. That follow-up costs you basically nothing to run. It is written once and it works while you sleep. You set it up in an afternoon and it keeps firing for the next 2 years on every new customer without you touching it again. Every second sale it pulls in carries no ad cost, so it is close to pure profit, and it stacks on top of everything the treadmill store is already doing. Same traffic, same ad budget, same product. One store bolts on an automatic second sale engine that runs silently in the background and quietly doubles what it keeps. The other keeps sprinting on the belt, wondering why it can never get ahead no matter how hard it pushes. The gap between them is not effort. The treadmill owner works harder. The gap is one automated conversation the winner set up once and forgot about. So, here is exactly what to do, and you can start it this week. First, find your number. Go pull how many of your customers have ordered more than once. Most platforms show it in a few clicks under your customer reports. If it is close to 0, do not panic, because that is not a disaster. That is the biggest, cheapest opportunity in your entire store, just sitting there untouched. Second, build one simple post-purchase sequence. Just 3 messages, a thank you and an honest did you love it a few days after it arrives. Then, a week or 2 later, the offer that pairs with what they bought, aimed right at that 30-day window. Then one last gentle nudge before the window closes. That is the whole thing. You do not need new customers to grow. You need to stop wasting the ones you already bled money to get. The treadmill owner thinks growth lives at the front door. The winner knows it was hiding behind the back one the whole time. Because in the end, anybody can buy a first sale if they are willing to burn enough on ads. That is not a business, that is a bonfire. You can always rent one more day of attention if you keep paying the platform its rent. The real business, the one that compounds, the one that keeps paying you long after the ad is switched off, is built entirely on the second sale and the third and the 10th, and the owners who blow past everyone else are almost never the ones with the cheapest ads or the cleverest hack. They are the ones who simply refuse to throw a customer away after one order. They understood that the money was never in the sale, it was always in what came after it. If this finally made you see your store the right way around, subscribe, because the next video breaks down that exact post-purchase sequence word for word, the 3 messages, the timing on each one, and the single offer that pulls the second sale out of that window on autopilot. And I dropped the simple email tool and the follow-up templates I use, free to start, down in the description. Go find your repeat rate tonight, before you spend another $1 chasing a stranger. Then decide, honestly, whether you are building a business or just running very fast on a belt that goes nowhere.